Pause that game. It's time for more NerdRadio.
I don't want to see it.
Is my co-host James.
Hello.
And Mr. Alan Beck.
I'm here.
Sounded very Duke Nukem-y.
Yeah.
Do I hear something over there?
Or a little bit
Am I
Clint
hearing
Eastwood.
things?
Probably. It's probably my phone.
Oh,
Hold on.
okay.
I'm a radio professional. I leave my phone on at all
Just the
times.
voices in your head, Al.
That's okay. I was texting while you were doing your intro.
See, there you go.
Yeah.
You knew that you didn't have to bring anything yet
Yeah.
to the
Sure.
show.
Al's setting up his afternoon delight rendezvous.
Ooh. Well, remember he used to get to his comics like a drug
Oh,
dealer.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
Wednesdays.
Yeah.
Remember walking out the door of the building and seeing Al like he's going to go buy drugs. I'm like,
Yeah.
what is he doing? He's in the window of that car. Is he negotiating, sucking off somebody?
Yeah.
And he's walking out with a handful of comics.
Yeah.
It's his comic man.
I'll tell you, sometimes drugs are cheaper.
I bet.
Yeah, that's true.
Depending
do
on
have-
the kind of drugs.
I do have some comic book news. Some of it I think Al will be very happy to hear coming up later in the show. But I want to start off with there are two huge stories that started off this week that I want to talk about. The first one being GameStop and the stock market.
Yeah, what is the deal with that?
And what is happening over there? So I've done as much research as is humanly possible in the last 45 minutes
Okay.
to figure out
I thought we were going to get some big money stock market tips
what
right
this
now, but
GameStop thing
obviously
is.
I
not.
should pull up my app and buy a stock.
Yeah.
Well, I would say so if we were like 3 days ago. Now it's a little bit inflated, but what has been going on over roughly the last 2 weeks is there's a subreddit of stock market users called Wall Street Bets that will try and figure out, much like, how the stock market works, which thing is going to, jump astronomically. Because that's, if you're playing the stock market, you're trying to get in low and then sell high kind of thing. And they've taken it upon themselves to pick a stock and then inflate it as much as possible by buying a whole bunch of it low so that all the stock market firms see that it's selling and go, oh, well, it must be worth something.
So wait, are these guys trolling the stock market then?
Yes.
Oh, I like it. I just
Yeah.
wish I could get rich off of it as well.
Right. So I think it was like Monday, the GameStop stock was at like about $20 a share.
Okay.
And a whole bunch of them threw as much money as they could at it. As of the writing that I'm reading from yesterday, it was up to $350 a share.
Wow.
So
what's
they
that
absolutely-
return equal?
But they're trolling the stock market and absolutely tanking hedge funds that betted against GameStop, and we're like, no, that's never going to be. It's a physical video game store in a world where everybody downloads their video games. Like,
Well, I really hope
they're going out of business,
the
man.
funds that I have going, retirement money going into, are not going to be affected negatively by this trolling of the stock market.
Sure. Yeah.
Now I'm
there's
worried.
There's like 401ks that
Yeah.
we put into that. Like, geez, I hope I'm not losing any money. But then at the same time,
I hope
I
that-
absolutely.
The $40 a week I'm putting in there is still worth $40 instead of $7.
I just looked it up. It's currently at, when we record this podcast, 358.
358.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go, man. I love this story. I love the idea of.
You guys see the spike from
It's so amazing.
the week, just this past week.
Put it on the camera for the people on
Yeah.
Twitch to see, because it's amazing to see where it's like there's a little tiny
Wow.
spike, and then Monday it just shoots through the roof.
You had me put it up to the camera, and I looked, and all of a sudden I went, is there any of my information on this? No, there is not. Thank God.
Gotcha, Al.
That's wild. That's interesting to be able to troll all those billionaires that play the stock market.
You would think there would be things in place where you wouldn't be able to do that,
Yeah.
but it's one of those things where, like, the collective powers of the internet, if enough people get together to do a thing, you can actually affect change, even when it comes to something like the
we
stock
should
market.
suggest to these guys to help the Beasley Media stock up.
Maybe.
Help
Yeah.
our own home company.
Apparently, the next target is AMC
Oh, is it?
on the stock
Okay.
market. It's already
Buy AMC stock.
AMC stocks are already kind of spiking. They've decided. And one of the other things I read about this is that Elon Musk is actually in this subreddit.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Oh man.
People
You're
are
gonna make him the next bajillionaire.
Yeah, people are speculating whether.
first.
One of the great stories I heard yesterday is that somebody invested on Monday, cashed out on Tuesday, and paid off their student loans.
Awesome. Dude, that's all I need. Just give me
With
enough
the-
money to pay off the mortgage and the car and a lot of the stuff. A lot of my my stresses are gone.
I'm gonna have to see if I can pull all my money out of my 401k and just invest in
I just want to
goofy ass.
You got to call him. Yes, I know this is gonna sound like a risky move, but I want to take all my money. I want to put it all on AMC.
Yeah. Well, somebody in the chat just said that AMC was $4 yesterday, and right now it's $14.
See, there you go. You already have made $10.
Once again, a spike.
Yep.
That's wild. What's the name of the site, Chuck?
When I used to the Reddit subreddit Wall Street Bets.
Wall Street Bets
are the ones that are kind of like if you can get through all the different comments and topics in there, you can find out what they've decided to focus on next.
Interesting. I really hope that we don't come in here in a couple of weeks and discuss the topic of James losing his ass on day trading.
Yeah,
because he's like, "What's that subreddit?"
Yeah, what's that subreddit?
I've always naturally assumed I don't have if GameStop stock is $20, that's cool, but I don't think they just let you buy one.
I think you can't you?
Can you?
Well, Al, you use that app.
The
app
I use,
app, right?
like you can usually buy fractions.
Like
of
I can just throw $100 at the stock market.
And I think that's how it works
try
too.
It out.
Yeah, because even
I always expected if you
you can buy it by the share, but like I had a fraction for a little bit of Amazon.
Okay.
Like I can't remember. I guess I could look it up. I looked up 2 other things, but like I didn't have enough capital to buy an Amazon share.
Yeah.
But you could switch it over to money. You can buy a fraction of a share. Like that's how people invest in things like Bitcoin. Yeah. Like a Bitcoin is $40,000 right now.
Yeah.
But you can go on and go like, well, I want $100 worth.
That's fascinating.
And it's a tiny little fraction.
I have a point like 0.00016 of a Bitcoin that's worth $25.
Amazing. What did you put into it?
Well, I had to buy. I needed a Bitcoin in order to buy cannabis seeds at the time.
Okay.
Oh
so
yeah.
It was like $150 I had to buy in Bitcoin.
Yeah.
But like 140 of those dollars had to go overseas to the nice company that was cultivating the seeds I needed.
It's probably worth more than that 25 though. I don't know when the last time you looked at it was.
Yeah, I looked at it at the last spike in Bitcoin because I was like, I know I had like $1.75 or like $1.50 or something left. I'm like, well, what am I gonna do with $1.50 in Bitcoin? We'll let it ride. And then once I heard about the big spike, I'm like, I had to find my password. I'm like, I go through all these old notes.
You
to
weren't
find
that
my
guy,
password.
were you?
No.
Okay.
Like I found the password.
No, James wouldn't be here breathing right now if he was that guy.
$200 million worth of
yeah,
Bitcoin.
That's what the guy had like $4,000 worth of Bitcoin.
We'd be recording Nerd Radio in the Man-Thong Mafia studio.
Yeah, right.
For the Man-Thong Mafia Entertainment Company, you know?
You know what I like? Man-Thong Mafia Entertainment. What I like, though, is...
the MME. Yeah. Man-Thong Mafia Entertainment.
I like it.
In this little fantasy we just had, James is a multi-millionaire with like $200 million, and he's still doing Nerd Radio. I feel touched.
Yeah, exactly. You wouldn't do that.
No.
You'd be out the door, man.
No.
I'm going to give you guys the money that this show deserves. We're going to give you a budget. We're going to hire some people to help do some
$25.
Production, research.
Chuck can worry more so about just, the on-air stuff and putting the show together. We'll have somebody else worry about the production pieces.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
And getting it all loaded. We'll hire somebody to do social media, We're taking over. We're coming for you, Nerdist.
I love that.
yeah. We're going to get a big old man thong in your face.
Yeah. I love that I introduced this story not knowing how much you guys knew about the stock market and found out you know way more about the stock market than I do.
Well, I just know more so about like our 401k and stuff.
Right.
So I know I get my statements when I open them up and read them. I'll be like, I purchased 20.14 shares of whatever stock, whatever thing they have set up, which is like a hedge fund type thing.
Yeah.
So I know that you could buy portions of stocks. You
Sure.
don't have to just. I will take one GameStop stock, please. You can. Here's $100 towards GameStop.
Yeah, and I don't know anything either. I literally
You've got an app on your phone. You're farther ahead than I am.
I did a
that was
It's so funny. Like I didn't say what the app was, so I feel comfortable telling the story. But I did a read for it for the podcast of the morning show, and they wanted me to use it to talk about it, which they typically do with like an endorsement or whatever,
like Marvel Unlimited.
So yes, exactly. And so they're like, we're going to give you money, and you can invest it. If you make anything on it, keep it. If you lose it, whatever, like it's yours. We're going to give you money, and that money is yours to play with. So it's like that's the endorsement fee or whatever. And I'm waiting on the money to get deposited in my account because I'm like, I'll use it, but I'm not using my own money.
Yeah.
And then the money finally comes in. It was $10.
That explains why he has a 0.004 worth of Amazon stock.
Right.
But no, you know what? Though I was interested in it a little bit, and I don't understand it well enough because I can't afford to put a ton of money into it. But
well, now I feel cheated because everyone has been reading ads for what is it, Bet Rivers or something?
Yeah,
the last
sports
month
bets.
or so. They've thrown so much money at the radio station. I didn't get to read any of them. I wonder if all of them got like, here's some money to play on Bet Rivers.
Yeah, well, I'll got a story about that too, but it's going to be off the air.
Okay,
I'll tell you about that off the air. But yeah, no, I use it a little bit because I don't know very much about it.
Yeah,
because it's just it doesn't make any sense to me
The
at
little
all.
bit of the stock market that I learned on Neopets.
Really, Neopets.
Neopets had a billion games you could play on Neopets, but one of them was a Neopet stock market, and my ex was super into Neopets, so I wanted to be into something. I wanted to relate. So she showed me a website where they would kind of let you know what stocks to trade and what stocks so you could get your Neo points up, and that's the only way I've ever played anything stock market wise. And the only way I'm like, I set hard limits on myself. It's like, okay, if I buy at 10 and it goes to 20, I'm good. I'm selling because I doubled my profit.
Your money.
I'm good.
You're
yeah,
out.
Exactly.
So.
But if I buy at 10 and it goes down to 4, I will sit on that until the day I die, until it at least climbs over what I invested.
I gotcha.
So I don't know how smart that is as far as the stock market is concerned, but that's my only frame
I think
of
that's
reference.
the thing. You got to know when to get in and when to get out with the stock market. Like I tried to invest in like weed industries, the cannabis industry through like an app.
Yeah.
And I just like every week, here's $20. Here's $20. I'm like $20 a week. I can go one day without Taco Bell.
Sure.
Here's my Taco Bell to hopefully invest in my future. I just kept losing money. I kept throwing 20. I'm fine. I just cashed out.
I thought I had. There was one I was tracking, and I was like, I thought I had it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, it dips here and it spikes here, and I got it. I can, it's gonna be.
We're moments away from the spike.
Exactly. And I kept watching it for a while. It would spike and drop and spike and drop and spike, and I could almost. I thought
you
predict
could
it.
set your watch.
Yes,
by it.
I thought, and so like it does a spike, and then I was like, sell. And I sat back and I watched it for that dip that was going to be coming in 2 days or whatever. And then that spike kept going. I was like, no! You left me behind! I'm right here! I got off the bus too early! So don't take any fight. If there's one thing, this should be the new tagline, NerdRadio, no financial advice here.
Advice. Don't take stock advice.
Oh, my God. No.
That is the most George Costanza story you've ever told me. Now that I've got that Hulu ad free, I've dived back into Seinfeld because I don't have to sit through ads, and my God. All right, well, the other big news as far as the world of nerds is concerned that happened on Monday is that the WWE Network shutting down in March and moving all of their content over to Peacock streaming.
I love this move.
I'm sure there's a negative to it, but I cannot see it. Mm-hmm. I'm sure once it's somewhere between now and WrestleMania.
Here's the negative. You're going to have to watch commercials from NBC clients and sponsors during your wrestling. During your pay-per-views, you're going to see commercials from NBC, from NBC's whoever's buying ads on NBC.
Right.
I guarantee you there's going to be a package where you can advertise within the WWE.
Maybe.
And that's what I think the downfall is going to be. But whatever. I watch commercials on the USA Network anyway.
Yeah, they already stick commercials in our.
They already give you the picture-in-picture stupid. You got to try to watch the match on mute, but also hear about a diarrhea, medicine.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
well, at least they do that now, because I remember seeing when I got back into wrestling for a little bit in my adult life.
Yep.
They started taking commercials during a match. I was like, what the hell is this? When did that start?
That is my least favorite thing in professional wrestling.
Yeah, and it was never like that. You never took a break during a match.
No, during the Attitude Era, during the Monday Night Wars between Nitro and Monday Night Raw, you didn't take a commercial break in the middle of a goddamn match. Look, if I have to break for commercials in 3 minutes, then you guys got 3 minutes out there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And to me, I would rather it go back to that. You should not take a break during commercials. However, if you're going to do it anyway, because the almighty dollar says you should, at least they now put it down in the corner. You can still watch what's happening during the spot break.
It's always funny when you're at a live event, back when we could do that. It's always funny to try and figure out when they go to commercial.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it's fairly easy to tell because it's usually just a lot of trash talk or
Yep.
somebody gets thrown out of the ring and they start arguing with a referee or something.
Right.
Like some silly nonsense
Yeah, like
starts happening.
somebody in the back tells the ref, "All right, we're going to commercial in 3, 2, 1." Then he tells
Yeah.
the wrestlers, and then they just got to dick around for like
Yeah.
3 or 4 minutes.
Well, it's
Spill
really
time.
awkward sometimes. Like I used to have season tickets to the Lions.
Okay.
Pity me. But like there will be TV timeouts, and you're sitting there, and when you're at a game, you don't hear any commentary or anything like that.
Fordfield,
Well,
make some noise.
But you're
Right.
just sitting there, and the team standing here, that team, and the other team standing here, and then there's like a guy with a giant glove who's out there like this, holding his hand up so the refs know
Yeah.
you're in break as long as he's there, and they're just standing around. And it's in the audience, you're like, what the hell's going on?
I paid how much for these seats?
Right, and then all of a sudden, like the
Entertain me.
giant hand goes down, and then they go to the line of scrimmage and move on with the
resume.
game. But so weird.
Yeah.
So weird.
Yeah, from what I've read, essentially, if you have a WWE Network account now, you're going to get moved over to the $5 a month Peacock, which means you're going to get everything that's on Peacock and all your WWE Network stuff with ads. If you want to increase your Peacock subscription
I do.
to $10 a month, then
Always
you pull
increasing my Peacock.
Yeah.
then you pull ads out of all of it.
Get the biggest peacock we can.
So I almost wonder. So I have both.
Yeah.
So I almost wonder, like, what's going to happen to me? Am I going to have 2 accounts? I'm going to have to cancel one on the Peacock?
Well,
Or-
I also have both at the moment, and I think what's going to happen is we're going to end up saving $5 a
yeah,
month,
I'm super
technically.
excited to not have to pay the full amount for the.
Because you're not going to be paying the WWE
WWE
Network
Network.
$10.
Yeah.
So you can take 5 of that and throw it at Peacock.
Now, my
so you don't have
question
ads,
is
and-
if you upgrade to that, because Peacock, I think, is doing the right thing in like the next step for the streaming services where they
the
have
consolidation.
Well, that's why I really want to get to that. That's why I love this move. This does not affect me at all.
Yeah.
There's not enough stuff on NBC to make me subscribe to Peacock.
Sure.
I'm not a wrestling fan, so I don't have the network. So this really doesn't affect me. I'm not getting either of these. I don't already have them, whatever. But I like the move because it's going towards consolidation. So let's circle back to that. But like Peacock has got that thing where they've got the free level, but you don't have access to the entire library,
Right.
and you have commercials. Then you've got like the $5 a month where you don't even have access to everything, but most of it with commercials. And then you got the $10 premium where no commercials, you've got everything.
Right.
And the fact that they have a free level, because remember Hulu used to as well.
Yeah.
Hulu's commercial plan used to be free, and
Yep.
then you paid for commercial free. And then they were like, well, you got to pay for commercials and then extra for commercial free. But then, so I think you're going to see more of that, so they can still reach people because it's all going streaming services these days.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I
Streaming
mean?
services is the new cable.
Right.
Like, eventually
But
you're going
it's-
to end up paying for, like, 3 different packages, whatever streaming services
Right.
you like.
But I feel like right now we're in the dark days of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's too much, and everyone wants their own.
Yep.
And it's just too much.
That was something that I'd read about the WWE Network moving, is that at their highest point, usually during a WrestleMania season, they'll have about something in the neighborhood of 2 million subscribers. And Peacock right now has 22 million subscribers. So even it's not that those 22 million are going to be watching wrestling, but
the
now
potential.
it's there.
Yeah.
So they
chance to
they
get
have
those
an
eyes.
even bigger audience.
Right.
Yeah. I also like the idea. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
No,
off.
no.
But with it being on the app, I feel like WWE is no longer constrained to having to finish like a Raw by 11 o'clock.
Yeah,
'Cause
maybe.
I know lately they've been running short on time, and things that have happened after the show has gone off the air
Yeah.
are taking place, and they have to have wrestlers post stuff on social media to explain things that have happened so that people understand.
I just assume, especially in the last month, when Raw ends badly, it's because it's written badly.
I think that's what a lot of people have been assuming, because
That's the
been
other thing
bad
too. Is like
lately.
you're going to expose the largest audience possible at a time where you're doing the worst job possible. Damn it, guys!
But I know I like it. I think
I'm
we're
excited.
gonna see more consolidation, kind of like how.
Well, what CBS has, I think, Comedy Central content
Yes,
on it, which is
yeah.
going to end up being Paramount Plus, which means it's
Right.
going to have a whole bunch
that
of other
will
stuff in there.
expand it a little bit more.
HBO
Yeah.
Max has
So
Cartoon
instead of
Network in
going
there.
to our cable provider to get channel lineups, we're just going to go directly to the cable channels.
It
to
seems like
Yeah.
it, yeah.
stream instead of going to like Xfinity or WoW or any of
Right.
those other ones and saying, "Hey, I want this package." You're just going to go straight to Paramount.
Right.
We're just going to go straight to Universal,
Yeah.
NBC, and just
Because
get their
even now
packages.
they've got like the live TV internet streamers that have their packages where they boast you get to pick and choose which channels you get, but you don't actually get to go. It would be nicer if they were like, you get 30 channels.
Yeah.
Here's everything that's available. Pick your 30.
Yeah, so like Sling.
Yeah.
So I use Sling.
Yep.
That's what
Yeah.
we use at my house is Sling, and there's different packages which have different channels in
Yeah.
it. Much like the streaming services have different programs. It's all the same stuff,
Right.
but it's just being presented in different ways.
Yeah. But now even those are getting more expensive. So like that whole cut the cord thing, it's cheaper, is now we're spending more money than we ever
Yeah,
were.
it reminds me of a meme I've seen with Captain Planet, and it's got like all the members, Earth, Wind, Fire, like all those kids,
Right.
and they're like different streaming
They're like
services.
Netflix, Hulu.
Yeah. And they're like, when it all combined, it shows Captain Planet, more expensive than cable.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what it is. You're
Right.
spending
Yeah.
more money now than what you would just going through cable sometimes.
Yeah.
But-
But if we start seeing them like you have a Sling, or like I get my live TV through Hulu.
Yeah.
Like Viacom owns Comedy Central and, MTV or whatever it is, like that whole list.
And there's a
You'll
package.
You'll see more. Yeah.
Yeah.
But a lot of times they'll be, even your cable provider or your streamer, you'll be like, they've got the Viacom account. So they have all of their channels, and then sometimes Viacom leaves, and all of a sudden you don't have the stuff that you used to want. But like maybe there will be a Viacom service
Right.
now, And Apple TV can consolidate it all into one app.
And it all comes right back around. I want you guys to recognize the dichotomy of Nerd Radio in that you guys have been talking about packages for about 15 minutes, and I never once went, package, package.
There's some big packages. Entertaining packages.
They're full.
Packages that will bring you lots of pleasure.
Yep. Pleasure pack.
All right, well, we're going to take a short break, and we're going to come back. I've got some comic book news for you. Borderlands, the movie, is on the way, and as I was saying, I've got some news for Al that I think he's going to be pretty pleased with. It's all next on Nerd Radio.